Hello, fabulous Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2016, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, in the context of love, it really is, in many ways, all about you. It's all about you. Next month, I'll be here to talk about it then, but next month is eclipse season, and relationships really are going to be taking on all kinds of fresh, new directions, understandings, opportunities, prosperity, and in some ways, very quick ways as well, those changes are set to take place. So be open to that, know that that is coming, and know that as part of welcoming in all that is new and wonderful that's up ahead, it is about you getting honest with yourself. That is the key word, that is the mantra, being honest with yourself, especially as we move later and later into the month. The likelihood and the desire to see what you want to see instead of what actually is there is going to be particularly high thanks to a full moon that is taking place in your sign. But it's like you want to see what it is that you want to see, and yet you can't, you just can't not see what is very clearly in front of you as well. And this is really good. This is giving you a balanced perspective. Also, as I touched on a little bit in the general focused horoscope as well, as I look at this, for some of you out there, a small percentage of you out there, it does look like your partner might need quite a bit of energy from you, might need time, might need attention. And this is where that commitment and that dedication becomes more fortified. This is when you really start to show yourself, particularly those in an established bond, where you demonstrate, where it becomes obvious how committed you are to this person. So there is love there. If you've been in this bond for a long time, there's the willingness to work on that bond, to make it stronger, to make it better. But really, a lot of what you might have to do is to just be there, right? Like as Chris Rock says, where? There, right? Just be there. Be present with that person. Let them have whatever experience they need to have as part of their spiritual growth, as part of their sacred learning. But your presence and your, even in some cases, some effort might be required. So if you're in an established bond, this is where this energy plays out, okay? Or one way, rather, that this energy can play out. You may have to spend more time at home. If you're living with your partner, this becomes that much more emphasized. You'll have to spend more time at home to be present for this person. Also, what I do find and what I love about this energy really is that this is asking you and challenging you to move beyond any barriers, to become more comfortable with yourself and more comfortable with this person. And as I said, I have to be forthright, of course, right? With this particular alignment, it is about the truth. I keep saying it, right? This full moon is a truth moon. And so this is where, if you've been holding back or you haven't wanted your partner to know something that, part of you knows they should, this is where things are going to start to become that much more obvious. If it is your partner that needs it to be known, or even if they don't need it to be known, this is where hiding behind illusions or allowing yourself not to see or allowing yourself not to say or speak or let the other person know, all of that becomes a lot more difficult with this. So it's about finding that right balance and ultimately understanding that this person is, regardless of the situation, right? I'm not saying anything really bad is going to happen. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that the other person isn't honest completely with you. They may be, to the best of their understanding, right? I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is that this is your chance to add a measure of compassion and understanding to your partner, to see them in a different light that ultimately will, through some challenging questions that you ask yourself, expand your heart and make you that much more closer to them. So it is a very important time. And it's also a time, as I said, it's a truth moon. So this is a time when, if you're with somebody, maybe you haven't been with them for 30 years, maybe you've been with them for 3 years, right? But this is a time when be mindful of the questions that you ask. Because, as I said, if you've been holding back something, that may very well come out. If you don't want to know the answer, then maybe it's okay not to ask. If your partner is not that willing to, fill you in on certain parts, maybe it's not so bad. But regardless, this is going to be a time when ultimatums are not going to work. They're not going to fly. So be very mindful of that. Do not, unless you really are willing to walk out, I would not suggest ultimatums. I would suggest understanding. I would suggest honesty as a way to decide, and a way to understand how you really feel. So this is about the truth, and understanding that, what is it about the truth? It always, always sets you free. It lightens your load. Sometimes it does it in very interesting ways, but sometimes not. Sometimes it's really apparent, Maybe some of you already realize, oh yeah, okay, I know, yes, my partner is going to need me more. This isn't going to be a surprise to a lot of you, okay? So it doesn't have that necessarily surprise element to it. Like I said, it's been coming for a while, but this is you getting to be honest about the person that you are with and what kind of life it is that may be there, at least for the short term, possibly even for the long term as well. And if you're into it, if you're down with it or not, and if you are, great, right? This really helps you to clear any kind of rose-colored glasses and helps you to have that much more of an honest connection with this person. If you see things and you realize, okay, this isn't really the direction I think I'm going in, then that's fine too. Have that openness, have that ability to acknowledge that. Because by the time we get to that full moon, it is going to be Mercury that is no longer in shadow. I've been saying to you guys, especially in the weekly horoscopes, that if you break up with someone now, you are not likely to stay broken up. Well, by the time we get to this full moon, there is a certain finalness to this. So Mercury will be out of shadow, that'll be done and over. So you no longer have that do-over kind of energy. But this is where you get to see what has been. This is where you get to see what is and decide how it is that you now want to move forward. Those of you who are just getting to know somebody or meeting someone now, again, be mindful of rose-colored glasses. The tendency is there. But also, as I look at this, I think a lot of Virgos out there, those who are open to meeting someone new, this is about you seeing within yourself. Right? Like, are you expecting like that knight in shining armor to sweep in and all that stuff, right? If you have that image in your mind that that's what love is supposed to be, and anyone who can't even meet that halfway need not apply, well, that might be something that you want to look at. Like, how high is that? Now, I'm not saying settle. I am not saying that at all. There are deal breakers, of course. But ultimately, what is it that you're going for in a relationship? And how is it sometimes, not always, but sometimes we create these standards because we're not really ready for whatever reason, whether it is that you just need to be single for a little while, whether it is that, you had an experience a while back and now you're still, healing from it, or it just might be that you're busy. You're going to have more work to do. So, as I said in the general focused horoscope, so you might just be busy. And so this at least will allow you to be honest with yourself about where you are and why, and also to give yourself the time that you need regardless. Anyone that you meet now, again, rose-colored glasses, be mindful of that. You may not be getting the whole picture, but it will reveal itself sooner rather than later. So anyone you meet under this particular full moon, just give it a few days, give it a couple of phone conversations in order to really feel it out. Be mindful if you're just texting, because you interpret that, right? There's so many ways to understand. Somebody might be coming from a place of, love and enthusiasm and flirtation, and you're interpreting it a whole other way. And then the opposite can also be true. Someone might really not be coming from that place, but you're seeing it a certain way. So all of this is designed to get you to see something a little bit more clearly within yourself as to where you are, whom you are attracting, and ultimately it's all part of that tapestry that's helping you to move towards greater love and, of course, greater wisdom as well. What I love about this month for you is that that spotlight is on you. It's you owning the love that is in your life. With ownership of that, with clarity, and sometimes surprising clarity at that, with an understanding of, okay, where are you now and how is it likely always going to be, you'll better be able to understand what steps you need to take to move yourself in a much more solid direction. Whether that is with one person that you're committed to, or whether that is in your understanding of your willingness to love. And a little bit of willingness really does go a long way. And sometimes that willingness has to shine on you. Seeing yourself and where you are now as perfect, as part of a loving plan that is, in the fuller picture, going to welcome in greater love into your life. And you really will not have to wait that much longer. Eclipse season next month. I'll be here to talk about it then. Things are going to change. It starts with you, as it always does.